Hey there, Pokemon fans, Readers here with another deck review video. In this video I'm going to deck review a very interesting and fun deck called Rainbow Dance. I should probably name it Rainbow Force, because that's the ability, the move that we're going to use to win games, but I named it Rainbow Dance because I like the word dance more. I chose the Xerneas coin flip because Xerneas is the main protagonist in this deck, and I chose this deck box, which is okay, don't look at this deck, don't look at the deck, this deck is the Milotic. Yes, it is the Milotic. I didn't chose it because of the Milotic, I chose it because it is colorful and it's like a rainbow, and I chose the card sleeves with Xerneas because Xerneas is the main character of this deck. Okay, we have 4 overall wins, and that's true, and 7 played, so I lost 3 matches out of 7 and I won 4 out of 7. That's true. That's true, and I'm not so proud, and as I mentioned before, this is a fun deck and not a competitive deck for tournaments. Now, take a look at this. Do you get it why we call it a rainbow? Yes, of course, we do call it a rainbow because it is very, very colorful. It has almost not every, but it has quite a few types, Pokemon types, to make the strategy of this Xerneas. So, I'm going to start with the basic card, the best card of this deck. That's the card which, from which this deck is built around. Xerneas. This is the Breakthrough, I think. Yes, Breakthrough Xerneas with 120 HP, a Rainbow Force with 3 energy, 10 damage plus. This attack does 30 more damage for each different type of Pokemon on your bench. So I'm pretty sure that you already guessed that we have Sky Field to have a bigger bench, and with 4 energy, power generation, 80 damage plus. If this Pokemon was healed during this turn and this attack does 80 more damage, we will probably not use that. We may, but we will probably not. We will never, maybe never get the benefits of the heal. But anyways, so we go for Rainbow Force. That's our target. Now, how many different types we have? It counts itself as well if it is in the bench. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different types. That means 330 with Muscle Band. That's a lot of damage. But we actually cannot have 10 in the bench. We can have only 8. That means 3 times 8, oh no. It is 240 plus 10, 250 plus 7, plus 20, 270 damage with Muscle Band. That's a lot. It can knock out any Pokemon EX, Mega Pokemon EX and stuff. Just with 3 energy. That's very nice. Now, how do we get there? Of course, Sky Field. Sky Field is the card that will allow us to have 8 Pokemon in the bench instead of 5. And how do we protect that? Now, I tried every single Pokemon here to have a synergy, okay? I'm not sure what this Pansage does here. Maybe draw a card, I don't know. I'm not sure if there is anything better. There may be a better Grass-type Pokemon to be in the active spot. I'm not sure. It may be, but I just have Pansage. We don't have the evolution, but anyways. Now everything else but Pansage and maybe Durant has a purpose here. It really has a purpose. Now let's go for my favorite. Not my favorite, but it is interesting. We have a Vulpix, which is not so interesting, but evolves into a Ninetales, and Ninetales has the ability Barrier Shrine. Each player can't play any stadium cards from his or her hand. So what you do is you play Skyfield and then protect it with Ninetales for as long as it is alive. Your opponent cannot change that. I noticed that Delinquent really ruins the whole synergy. There is a Remoraid, not this one, there is another Remoraid that discards a stadium card that ruins you as well. And especially if you have Ninetales, you cannot play your second Skyfield, and that's very, very bad. But we will probably if that happens, you're gonna be in huge trouble anyways. Now we have Doduo evolving it into a Dodrio, and it has as long as this Pokemon is on your bench, your active Pokemon's retreat cost is 2 less. So that means that you can actually retreat anything. Let me check if it's really anything. Yes, it is anything for free, retreat for free. So that's a good one to have, especially if you have Zoroark, which has the stand-in ability. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is your bench, you may switch this Pokemon with your active Pokemon. So you may stand in, remove the special condition from your active Pokemon, and retreat Zoroark, if you have Dodrio, to attack with your Xerneas. Also, Zoroark is powerful with Mind Jack. With a double colorless energy, 10 damage, does 30 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And if your opponent falls in the trap of taking advantage of Sky Field, these Zoroark may be very, very powerful, equally powerful to Xerneas, if not more powerful than Xerneas. So yeah, Zoroark and Xerneas is quite the same synergy, but Zoroark is cheaper than Xerneas in this situation. We talked about Xerneas, now we have Hawlucha. I do have Hawlucha here basically for the free retreat cost. We're never gonna use it, we don't have fighting type energy, even though I could have one. And I'm seriously thinking about that. Try it out with one fighting type energy. It may be useful against Pokemon EXs. I talked about Ninetales, I talked about Pansage. Now Pikachu also evolves into Raichu. Raichu is good for two reasons. First of all, he has no retreat cost, which is very, very important. And secondly, it has the circle circuit, dealing 20 damage times the number of your bench Pokemon. So it is 2 times 8. That means 160. That's not enough. You need a muscle band to go to 180 and knock out a basic Pokemon EX of your opponent. But you will definitely get there, I think, and I hope. We have a Durant. Now Durant is quite a strange Pokemon, but it may be very, very powerful sometimes because of the chip off. Discard cards from your opponent's hand at random until he or she has 4 cards in his or her hand. So can you imagine your opponent having a huge hand of not 7 cards, maybe 80, 18 or 20 cards? 80, really. Durant will definitely demolish that hand. Now, Unown is a psychic type Pokemon, and that's basically why we have it, but it also has the farewell letter. Once during your turn, you may discard this card from your bench and draw a card. It may be powerful, especially with Buddy-Buddy Rescue. Each player puts a Pokemon from his or her discard pile on his or her hand, so you may use it twice. That's why Buddy-Buddy Rescue is here, or getting anything back, but be careful not to get back to your opponent anything crazy. You have Remoraid to evolve into an Octillery. With Abyssal Hand, once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. So as you can see, all those cards really support the Xerneas synergy, and it also adds into the type, and Xerneas becomes more powerful. So yeah, Octillery is a Saimin, like a Saimin. It's not Saimin, but it's a Saimin like you can use it every single turn, and it is maybe sometimes better than Saimin, especially in this situation where it is not such a fast deck. So I talked about Buddy-Buddy Rescue. We have 3 level balls, and maybe those may be not enough in some situations because we do need to bring a lot of Pokemon, and level ball doesn't bring only Zoroark and Xerneas, it brings everything else, and that's crazy. We have 1 Super Road, and we should have 2 Super Roads because we will definitely get some knockouts in our Pokemon, and we'll definitely have to bring them back to power up Xerneas again. So Super Road brings 3 Pokemon and energy from the discarded pile into our deck. We have Town Map, which sometimes I don't like Town Map, but this is a nice one. Turn all of your prizes face up. You do need to do that to make sure that you will draw the Pokemon that you need from your prizes. We have 2 Trainers Mail to bring any of these cards in our hand faster. We have 4 Ultra Balls to bring any Pokemon that we need from our deck to our hand. 3 VS Seeker to replay any of the supporters that we used. 2 Brigette, and that's a very important card. It brings basic Pokemon from our deck into the bench right there. Very important. It may save us. It powers up both Raichu and Xerneas, very, very important card. Now Giovanni scheme may put the extra 20 damage that maybe Raichu needs to knock out the Pokemon EX, or draw cards until we have 5. So it is a charm card. Let's make it tradable. I may need to trade that. And we have a Lysandre to obviously switch one of our opponent's bench Pokemon with his or her active Pokemon. 3 Professor Birch Observation to draw fresh hands. two Shauna to draw cards, two Skylas. I'm saying one, but it's not one. Two Skylas, basically to bring even Sky Field or Muscle Band or one of these. Okay, we don't want to bring other supporter cards with Skyla. That moves us back, but we may need to, but we don't want to. And we have one Teammates, and this is a very, very important card. Once when we get a knockout, when somebody knocks out one of our Pokemon, we will bring it back. We will have a huge advantage getting two cards from our deck into our hand, so this may save our butt sometimes. We have two Sky Fields, we talked about those. We have two Muscle Bands, which I'm not 100% sure if I want Muscle Bands or if I want Fighting Fury Belts. I do have Muscle Bands because of Zoroark and Raichu being huge threats. If I didn't have Zoroark and Raichu, I would definitely go for Fighting Fury Belts to make the Xerneas even more strong, but no, I'm not. And I have 4 double colorless energy. It is more important than you can imagine. Double colorless is key, and be careful with Aegislash-EX and stuff. It's gonna be sad if you face an Aegislash-EX, both because of the shutdown of double colorless energy and because Xerneas has a weakness into metal types, so that's gonna be terrible. But I hope that you won't. I did, and I lost. And we have 7 energy cards, 7 this type, fairy type, yeah, fairy type energy cards. So that's the deck list. It is an interesting deck. I highly recommend building it just to see how it works, and if it fits you, if you like it or not. Tell me in the comments below. You will definitely find a link right here, right now, in your screen for the playtest video of this deck. I enjoyed the match. It was crazy. It was a nice match. And tell me in the comments below, what do you think about this deck? Are you going to build it seriously? If yes, Snapchat me photos of your victories, okay? Until next time, take good care of yourself, be safe, don't forget subscribe, and I'm gonna see you. Bye!